Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your pushing my glasses up the bridge of my nose, Jimmy, and I'm here with
Big T, Tony B.
And
I guess Studious Dave,
because we friends, we're back. It's Hot Docs, baby.
Festival season.
It's what, the fourth
Fourth time we've done it.
Fourth time we've done it.
4 times in a row.
I'm
baby.
losing track now. 4 times in a row.
4 times in a row. Thank you, Hot Dogs, for trusting us and trusting us.
I love them
We are
so
back,
much.
baby.
Yes, back and better than ever, ready to cover some films. So we are here to bring you a bonus episode then,
Yes.
and talk about some documentary films that we've watched, perhaps some that we're looking forward to covering next time. But all in all, we're just so happy to be back at Hot Docs again for another year, 4 years in a row.
Woo woo.
Want to get into it then?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
Let's hit
All
it.
right, let's go. So, as Tony graciously pointed out off air, it's a festival episode, which means he's going to lead us through all the documentaries, as he always does. He steers the ship in the right direction through every festival. So, my man, my captain, my captain, talk to me, Goose.
Let's go. We got 6 films we want to talk about here.
Woo!
Let's
Ooh, doggy.
let's
Don't know what
start.
that
Well, let's start with the opening night film, shall we?
Okay.
So the opening night film is Parade: Queer Acts of Love and Resistance. And Dave, what is Parade about?
It is a chronicle of the LGBTQ movement in Canada from the 50s through till I think it's like 2016, because
Wow.
they talk about the Black Lives Matter protest at Pride. I believe it was in 2016.
Yeah.
So they bring in a lot of talking heads to talk about their experiences, kind of what they were doing. They show a lot of archive footage that I really enjoyed seeing, just because it kind of like really added to it. And it I don't know, in movies like this you always expect it to be like an animated interstitial type thing, but it was nice that it was.
It's
like
nice to see like
archival.
the real footage of like
sure.
what
Footage.
really happened.
For sure.
The real footage, and like how aggravating it is that it's still a thing now.
Absolutely.
That they're still fighting for rights, which they shouldn't be. And then it kind of ends on the whole controversy about trans kids and letting kids be kids,
Right.
and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Absolute bullshit. So this was a world premiere. Obviously, it was opening night. It's from the NFB.
Nice.
What did you think?
I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it was very episodic.
Yeah.
And I guess the through line is just resistance.
Right.
And like what they did to fight back, and kind of how they got little things along the way. Like
Right.
they're talking about how the one guy was in the closet in Parliament, and he managed to push forward a private member's bill to decriminalize being homosexual.
Right.
That being that's okay.
Yeah.
And like Canada was like the first country in the world that kind of made it okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
That was
I
pretty-
liked his story. It followed a lot of different stories, and to Dave's point with that one, it was like really inspiring because like he stayed in the closet the entire time, and then once the bill was passed, he like immediately came out, and it was like this big grand moment. And it was like
And then all the assholes came out to
Exactly.
destroy his fucking
Yeah.
campaign office.
exactly right, and like it's just it's so incredibly disheartening to just see like the history and like you're listening to this because like I didn't know most of the history, so it was it was like a little bit informative, and you just found out a little bit more, and it's like your blood's boiling because like this sounds so fucking ridiculous, and you can't believe that like this happened, and we in Canada, and here we are 2025, and it's still happening.
Yeah, I was going to say
to a different degree.
Different degree for sure, but it definitely feels like that's a side of history that maybe not a lot of people know. Like I think the U.S. is a little bit better about getting Hollywood involved, and there's a lot of movies and shows and things that involve the gay rights movement and the AIDS crisis and everything else. There's a lot of sort of
so they mention more. They go on. They talk about the AIDS crisis.
It's like a small
AIDS,
section.
Yeah, AIDS pandemic is the words they were using. Yeah. There's a really heart destroying moment where one of the interview subjects is talking about how she thought she was going to get old with all her buddies that she used to dance with.
Yeah,
and how they would all be in like an old folks home and like be served by like people in French maid outfits.
Sure.
But she's like, they're all dead.
Yeah,
they all died. Yeah. There's nobody left. I'm the last one standing.
Yeah,
and it's that one's pretty. That's pretty heavy.
That one was crushing.
There's also a bit about, if I understood it right, the woman who kind of coined the idea of being two-spirit.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not the idea, like
just kind of popularized
being two-spirit.
Yeah.
Because they said it took off after she kind of started discussing it, or I think she had a vision or something, because it's obviously an indigenous woman who coined the
term itself.
The term itself. Yeah. So that was interesting. Like it's very interesting, and there's a lot of ups and downs. There's some funny moments, and then there's just some really gritty where you're just like, fuck, this is so depressing. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But like the only through line is just resistance. It doesn't really seem like it doesn't all kind of jive together. Yeah. It's just kind of like isolated moments along a timeline.
Okay.
So I think I would have wanted, I think the only thing I would have wanted was just more like cohesion a bit, as opposed to, well, this happened in the 50s, and then this happened in the 60s.
Right.
And then this happened in the 70s.
It was like a reporting. It was like, okay, this is this period, then this period, then this period.
So episodic chapter.
Very chapter.
It starts with like there's a subtitle type thing.
You want a more connective tissue.
Yeah. And it only focuses really on more Toronto and Montreal. Mm. Like there's a little bit of stuff about Winnipeg or about BC, but it's mostly just Toronto, Montreal.
Yeah. Which I understand to a certain extent.
It's only 96 minutes, so you can't say everything.
Yeah.
I just like you said it. Like I just wanted more connective tissue because it just felt very disconnected.
Fair enough.
Just this.
Yeah.
I think of what was that movie we saw, Tony? That was like 2.5 hours. It got nominated for an Oscar.
Soundtrack of a coup d'etat.
Soundtrack to coup d'etat. Yeah.
Like that one was way too detailed and was way too.
Yeah, you said it was essay like.
Yeah. It wasn't even. It was like fucking dissertation like. But everything flowed.
Right.
Everything happened, and it felt very. It made all the connections as opposed to this that just feels very. This happened.
Right.
Close the chapter. Next chapter. Right.
Move on. Yeah.
And I felt the same way. There was like there was highs, there were lows. There were really good moments that made you laugh. Really good. There were really other moments that just like made you feel like very empty.
Fair enough. Less than empty.
Less than empty. It's like it's not an easy watch in some points, and nor should it be an easy watch. But like Dave said, a little bit more connective tissue, not so much chapters, just like flow your story into from beginning to end kind of thing.
That would be it. And then it kind of just ends in like after AIDS. and getting decriminalized, homosexuality decriminalized, kind of ends there, and then it jumps straight to 2016, and it's like, okay, well,
so nothing happened in the
Nothing
in-between.
happened.
period.
I almost wanted a little bit more of the fallout of AIDS, right? Because like AIDS was such a big moment,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And a big event that had like repercussions, right? And like the fallout should have been a little bit more explained. But again, you're at 96 minutes. Like it could only be a footnote at that point.
that you also don't want to get into fucking tragedy porn with that.
Yeah,
there's so
yeah.
much.
There's so much you
awful
could
shit
do.
that comes
Yeah,
with that that you don't want to. You kind of don't want to dwell on that.
Yeah.
It's like you want to honor the people who lost their lives, but at the same time, it's like we don't need to dwell on fucking AIDS.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I guess
It
you're
was,
right.
it was an awful thing. People are assholes. They talk about how Mulrooney did fuck all.
yeah,
Which I mean, he didn't.
He didn't. You know,
He did less than nothing.
he
but
did
it's
less than
fine.
nothing. But yes, there should have been a little more to it there. So like it
Yeah.
could have been a little long. Like I think we're picking at what it could have done differently as opposed to what it is.
Yeah.
And to me, it's an like you use the word informative, very
Mhm.
informative, very like it's not an easy watch. That's going to be a theme for tonight, as it always is when we talk about fucking documentaries. But a necessary watch. I just kind of
Yeah.
wanted more flow to it.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Wanted a little bit more from it.
Yeah.
But that one has another screening coming up on May 3rd at 10 a.m.
Oh, nice.
So if you guys have a chance to see it, you should definitely watch that one.
It's gonna be a hell of a morning. Damn.
Yeah, that's a way to wake up.
Yeah.
Good
It's,
morning.
Yeah, it's definitely, it'll be sobering for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
Mr. Tony.
Let's change gears. I almost want to say let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted, but
Sure.
Unfortunately, those are few and far between
They
on
are.
this list.
They really are. They really are. What's next?
So let's go to Skoden.
Skoden.
That's one that
Skoden.
the three of us
Skoden
have
to
watched.
Skoden.
Yes,
Yes.
that was a world premiere as well. And that one's back on today, May 1st at 11:45 a.m.
Yeah.
Another sobering morning for you if you want to
Yeah.
experience that.
Thanks to the fine folks from Tellus for bringing us this one.
James hit us with Skoden.
Yeah, so documentary starts on a meme that honestly I was unfamiliar with, but
I was unfamiliar with this as well.
Yeah, it portrays a native man in a sort of a fighting dukes up kind of pose. With a hashtag that took off with it. It was Skoden, which is really just a homonym of "Let's go." Then it's just smushed together in sort of native English vernacular of squinching words. So that's where the title sequence comes from. But what it really does, and it starts off in a very sort of like lighthearted manner. You're just kind of like, oh wow, this meme like really kind of took off, and natives kind of took it back and reclaimed it for themselves as well before it got too far out of control. It really became something that they were proud of, like a proud, strong uncle who was fighting for, native rights and freedom through a meme.
They're the ones that gave it the hashtag.
Correct. Yeah. And then it takes a hard turn. And it's like, yeah, but who is the guy that was in the photo that this meme is based on? Like, who is he?
It's like complete whiplash too.
And yeah, the rest of the documentary is really trying to uncover that man's life by people who knew him in the community that he grew up in and was surrounded by in Lethbridge, Alberta. And you go to find out that he generally was a street person, struggled with abuses, was in a residential school, and all sort of the failures of Lethbridge, Alberta in a lot of ways, but really at a macro level, the failure of everyone
I was gonna say,
to
the
help
system and
the vulnerable,
Yeah.
and especially to help vulnerable Native Canadians who can't get through the traumas and horrors that they've been dealt with over the years. So real lighthearted.
real feel good picture.
Yeah. devastating at points, hard to watch at points where you're just
emotionally
emotionally
crushing as well.
And it's only this one's only 75 minutes.
75 minutes, and it's a gut punch after a gut punch of just
It's like 5 minutes of glee and then 70 minutes of just why? Why are we all awful people?
Yeah. Serious. I had no idea. This one wasn't on my short list. I think it was on one of your guys's, and I just watched it. I watched it just from the title.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what to expect.
I didn't either.
And like complete went in completely blind. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be happy go lucky. Okay, yeah. And then right hook to the jaw.
Twas not.
I knew that it was based on a meme when I got the PR contact info and the emails. They had like half the picture of the meme, and they were talking about how like if you look it up, don't post the picture. They're very clear that the family wants to speak about the film, and they want to tell this story, but they do not want you to promote the actual meme itself.
And that becomes very clear. And I think it was interesting to for the director who happened to also have interviewed the subject of this meme.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
And had like all this kind of, again, to your point, to archival footage.
To a documentary that kind of failed.
Yeah, it didn't get off the ground. He couldn't figure out how to best tell the story, and it sort of fizzled out and sat on the shelf. But to be able to revisit it, and I think, I hard to say what his goal would have been for that original documentary, but I think it was very successful here. He found his sort of through line, and this through line was through this man to tell his story while also telling a bigger narrative of houseless and
homelessness
and trauma and native issues that go largely unnoticed or ignored, or it's just at one point they were talking about that people just throw money at the problem and that'll fix it, and it's like, yeah, but you're not understanding what the true supports are. You're not meeting people where they are. You're trying to continually, and it goes like all the way back to residential schools of, I'm going to impose my rule upon you no matter what. And it's like, even if they're coming from the best intentions and best well-intended places of offering support, it still ends up not working because they're just fundamentally not understanding the person that they're working with. They're trying to, put every person into a box, and sometimes you can't do that.
No.
So I thought it was, especially the parts talking with, I think her name was Deanne.
The one who was like the head of the housing thing, or the group that was kind of trying to help.
Yeah. They her moments and also just following around with the overall team and with his best friend.
Oh yeah, I like that guy was
he was a good subject.
Giving back and trying to figure out a way to help his community in any way that he can through his own struggles and his own needs. It was those are my two sort of favorite, I don't want to say talking heads, but my two sort of favorite through lines to the movie that kept giving very good and poignant information for sure.
I think the best friend was really the heart of the story, like where the most heart was, because like you could feel his pain, that like he just wanted to help his friend, and like his friend was in pain, and everything was like significantly like failing him at every turn. Like it's like he almost didn't have a chance because like the system around him was failing.
Well, he's also one of the friend was also one of the rare cases that was able to turn things around.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was saying that, and like I liked that at the end where it was like kind of like coming to a catharsis. It's just like, okay, well, I made it through, and this person made it through, but like, what about him? What about like everybody's different. Everybody has their own. Everyone has journey. Their own journey, and everyone gets like a different set of cards to play, absolutely. Right? So, definitely not the emotional documentary that I was expecting. It kind of knocked me for a wind, but I enjoyed it for the most part.
Yeah, I learned a lot through it, and I really felt like I got to know a person behind a meme. So I think very successful in that sense, and really talking about a lot of larger issues and a lot of larger sort of Canadian issues that impact all of Canada and how we treat our native peoples. And
The
It
guy,
was well done.
the guy from Res Dogs was in it.
Correct.
I
yes.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that little webcam footage that they went back and forth with.
Yeah. He did a
He did a web
interviews with
yeah,
people,
a web review. Yeah.
So it was good in that way for sure.
Dave?
I don't really think. Is there anything I can really add
No,
on to that?
no,
like
no.
I feel, not, like
Go
I feel
see
you
it.
guys.
How did you feel? Like we both said how we felt. Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Like, would you recommend it?
It's the feel good picture of the year. No,
It's a quick 75
it's a quick
minutes.
75 minutes, and it's harrowing, and it's definitely worth seeing.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I don't like. We all need to learn more about Indigenous issues in this
Absolutely.
country
Yeah.
that face the Indigenous peoples, and we
Yep.
should. We're all partially ignorant to their struggle,
Absolutely.
and movies or films like this really shine a light on people that we keep forgetting or keep leaving in the margins. So
Yeah.
I thought it would be different, and I definitely really enjoyed how he was able to unpack this gentleman's life, just starting with the meme and then kind of going expanding from there.
Yeah. A well thought out documentary. So as Dave mentioned, playing today.
Today,
11:45.
yes,
So
11:45.
get out there and watch it if you can. If you heard this first thing in the morning, run, and then also look for it later as well because it's worth your time.
Mm-hmm.
Tony,
So I'm gonna get the one that I saw out of the way.
sure.
And it is a sports movie called The Track.
Ooh,
Of course, he did the fucking sports movie.
Of course.
sports movies.
I know he does.
What you got?
And
buddy?
good underdog story.
Okay.
So it follows it's about luge, the Olympic sport luge.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that am I saying it properly?
Luge? Yeah.
Luge.
Yeah. Luge,
Yeah.
yeah.
I absolutely know nothing about luge. And
Luge's feet first. That's all I know.
Literally. And this one was
sled,
about
isn't it?
Yeah.
it's on a sled, yeah. It's almost like
Ice
bobsled.
track.
It's like
It's ice
bobsledding,
track.
but you're on a board and
Yeah.
you're like flying at the speed of light.
Yeah, and just your feet first. Skeleton is head first.
Okay, I just remember when we had
94
we
winner.
had the 94 Lillehammer Olympics game
Yeah.
for Super Nintendo, and I
Yeah.
always did really badly on
On the luge?
I was the bobsled. I loved doing the
Were you
bobsled.
Jamaica?
Yeah, of course he
Naturally.
was. Anyway, so this one follows three inspiring athletes from Bosnia,
Yeah.
and just following their journey to the Olympics.
Nice.
And they're obviously following they're in a big shadow because of the Olympics in Sarajevo and what how the Olympics brought Sarajevo out only for it to just go to shit a couple years later.
Yeah.
And the luge track that they're actually practicing on is covered in graffiti and bullet
God.
holes,
Great.
and it's
Tony,
it's
sounds
not great.
real uplifting.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's a real underdog story.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
can
tell
see
you
it.
that right now.
See,
It sounds
more.
it sounds more uplifting than the previous two films we
This is true.
discussed.
That's true.
It does have a happy ending, so
Okay.
but it's very upsetting to see these athletes go because there's no money for Bosnia.
Yeah.
Bosnia's not getting.
They're not pumping dollars.
They're not.
into their
They're pumping
Olympic
dollars,
teams,
and
yeah.
it follows the coach too, and the coach isn't being paid for this, and they're all hoping that money will come.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it, and they're doing this, and they're still pushing because the love of the sport, the love of the game, the athletes, they want greatness, and they want Bosnia to be put back on the map and not be remembered for this
Yeah.
horrifying event.
Yeah.
So it is. There's happy moments. There's really depressing moments. There's sad moments, but there's also uplifting moments. And then and then there's a little bit of the footage of because one athlete does go to the Olympics, and you see him and how he starts out, and it's just that little come on, you can do this, you can do this, right? And I'm not going to ruin the ending, but I will say that after all the shit there is something to smile about, and I'm very grateful to see that.
Nice.
If you like underdog stories, I'm really pushing, because this is truly an underdog story, and in this day and age, we need a good underdog story.
Sure.
If you like that, if you like sports, if you know nothing about luge, you'll definitely learn a couple of things. I never want to do it. It looks very violent that if you if you just, they were saying it's you're going too fast, man. If you go too fast, you're going to turn upside down and bang.
Yeah.
And fuck, man, it's intense. Yeah. But yeah, I love these documentaries at Hot Docs because you're always learning something.
Yeah.
And I learned something here, and seek it out. The track.
Nice. Do we know when it's playing?
It has finished its festival run.
Oof.
So you need to keep an eye out for that.
Keep an eye out for that one. Definitely.
Please do, because it sounds great. I definitely want to sort of see if I can squeak it in before we're done with Hot Dogs too.
If you have the opportunity, I strongly suggest you do.
I'm gonna. Just so I can come back and report back and be like, yeah, Tony's bias towards sports documentaries holds true, and it is correctly good.
We got one more sports documentary on our docket. I can't wait for that one.
I'm actually excited for that one too.
Fuck yeah. Anyways, so next, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, boys, for happiness.
That's it. We might be out of happiness.
No, I got my ace in the hole, but I don't think I'm gonna pull it out yet.
All right.
I prefer you not pull anything out personally.
Yeah. Dave, hit us with shamed.
You want to really keep it going, do you?
Yeah.
Let's go, buddy.
Fuck. This one was a world premiere. It's on again on May 2nd at 2:45 p.m. I guess I'll put 1,000 trigger warnings on it. You're going to be fucking enraged watching it, and it's going to make you very upset.
Okay.
It is about a gentleman named Jason Nasser. He ran CreeperHunterTV.com, where he would lure in pedophiles or people that he assumed were pedophiles.
Accused of being pedophiles.
Accused of them. He would try to bait them online, and then he would go and confront them and film it and put it on his website. And it hones in on, it doesn't really give a reason why he kind of started doing it, just kind of that he wanted to do it.
Sure.
And it hones in on, I believe it's five guys that he profiled that ended up either ODing or committing suicide later.
Okay.
And kind of it profiles the effect that these videos had on these individuals and on the people in their lives, as well as it has a through line of his court case, because he's brought to court over a wrongful death. And they bring the guy in, and he talks, they interview him, and then he kind of goes through some of his they show him some videos, and they're like, what were you thinking at this point? And he's talking about what he was thinking. Yeah. And it's just enraging because he doesn't have any remorse. Zero remorse.
Yeah.
The ones that are profiled are kind of victims of circumstance, and kind of the one guy was autistic, and he thought he was just being a buddy to this person.
Right.
Just going out for ice cream, just to hang out because he wanted friends, and he was just being nice, and he ended up getting fucking splashed on this website, and then he ended up taking his own life. Jesus. And he has no remorse for it, and there's no gray area. It's very much you did this and you need to own up to it. Yeah. And then there's another one. This is the one that upset me the most, was the guy meets up and he owns up to it, that he came to solicit sex with a minor type thing. But he's like, does this have something to do with I don't know why I'm this way. Is it because I was raped when I was a child type thing? Is it he's trying to get into, he's owning it. Yeah. But he's also fucked up, and he's trying to explain it to this guy who's clearly a fucking monster. And he even goes to the fucking ER type thing to like get some help, like psychiatric help type thing, and he's still filming it.
Yeah.
And then they end up like they go into the mob mentality because the neighborhood kind of were furious when they found out about this guy because they posted his fucking photo all over the place. Yeah. And they're like, why is the police not doing anything? And it's just it's very enraging, and he clearly has zero remorse.
Yeah.
Zero remorse. Yeah. And they also profile a young woman who he posted revenge porn of and who is trying to I think she gets it taken down type thing, but obviously the damage is already done, and her lawyer is doing her case pro bono, and it turns out that he's the guy's cousin.
Jesus.
So they're kind of like, can you talk? He doesn't really want to open up about it type thing. Because originally they're just like, can we address the elephant in the room? I'm like, what the fuck elephant are you talking about? He's like, oh yeah, he's my first cousin. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But they don't really like drill him to kind of talk about like the family or like how this guy came to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the same time, they're only profiling people that ended up killing themselves. There's like over 100 people or 100 dudes. It's all guys.
Yeah.
That he posted on the website, but they never talk about anybody who might have actually been what he was like
what he was trying to go after,
what he was actually going after, like the actual people he wanted to expose. They never talk about any of those, so it's like it's all just on these 5 guys type thing. So I think that you could have expanded a bit more to kind of like, you don't want to make this guy into a saint because he's not, but you also want to kind of be like, well, he did this and like something happened, something good came out of it.
He got something right.
He got something right.
Yeah.
Because they also bring in like the FBI and some, because he called the FBI about a guy type thing, and they're just like, okay, well, we'll deal with it. He's like, no, I'm going to deal with it. It's like, no, you need to back the fuck off. Thanks for the tip. Like, back off.
So I can see your point to an extent, but to me, it also feels like a documentary in this case has to kind of pick a side, and saying, oh, he did some good isn't good enough.
I understand. It's just
vigilantism.
It's just kind of focusing on just like the fucking awful things, but it doesn't really go into anything about like maybe something good came out of this. Maybe something.
Yeah, but I think that dilutes the message.
It does kind of dilute the message. I don't know. I just thought that there should have been another side to it, that where it's just like, if there's that many people and you're just picking these specific people out of the hat.
Yeah. But I think there's something that comes down to like, okay, yeah, you did a bait and switch, and you were able to get these guys to maybe some of them are fucked up, but at the end of the day, I go back to that one guy that you had mentioned that is trying to check himself into the hospital. Like, doing this and plastering people all over the internet doesn't help someone.
No, it
doesn't. You're not helping anybody in this case. Yeah, okay, maybe you found someone out and you've figured that out, but they don't, like, plastering their face all over a neighborhood doesn't fix the underlying problem. Like, all you've done is make that very public, and in some cases be, in this case, absolutely wrong on some of your accusations. Is why you don't, like, vigilante justice is not correct, because you're not doing a proper investigation. You don't understand the full thing. You don't have all your, if you were to take any of this to court, it's not going to hold up in court. You have nothing but a potential someone came over to something without knowing the full facts. Like, you have no other proof other than this bait that you just pulled off. So it's, I mean, I get it, but
it's a big subject, and it tries not to get deeper. I think there's deeper pockets that I think they could have gone into. Yeah, that they don't get into.
Yeah.
So you're just watching this reprehensible piece of shit and kind of like seeing the fucking devastation he left in his wake.
Yeah.
And you're just angry the whole time.
Yeah.
Because this guy just no remorse. I'm happy they were able
Well,
to.
yeah.
I'm happy they were able to speak to him and they put him on there. But I think they could have drilled him a little better.
Yeah.
But again,
He feels like one of those people that, like, as long as he's using the defense of, oh, well, I'm protecting children, he can get away with anything he wants.
Exactly.
And everything he's done is amazing and great because regardless of what the outcome was, he's protected a child in his own head. So how do you argue against it? But
so there's deeper thing. I wanted it to go a little deeper.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm getting at. Is I wanted it to go a bit deeper. It's not quite surface, but it's not deep.
It's not deep enough. Yeah.
It's not deep enough, but it's well made and reprehend just
Lots of trigger warnings.
a lot of trigger warnings. It's not.
Yeah.
Again, it's not an easy watch. Not an easy watch.
Fair enough. Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. You're
Next.
welcome. I'm glad I got to speak about that monstrosity.
Tony, what do we got?
Speaking of monstrosities,
Yeah.
why don't we follow up that film with another film that will definitely get your blood boiling? The Last Ambassador.
I don't know if it'll get our blood boiling, but I'll tell you. Well, yeah,
When
okay.
you
know
figure-
what? You know what? Fine. So anyway, small synopsis. As we all know and remember fondly,
Fondly?
America just decided to pull out of Afghanistan and just let Afghanistan be Afghanistan, which resulted in the Taliban just fully taking over the entire government structure there and then being like an unrecognized regime in the grand scheme of things, and their main president, who was there in place before through a democratic election, ousted in exile. And this documentary...
He just fled. He just got the fuck out, didn't he?
Yeah. He's like, I'm out.
He's like, see you later.
Do you blame him?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So this documentary follows one of the ambassadors of Afghanistan, who is the ambassador to Austria. And
keep in mind a little subplot of the ambassador, just because it was pointed out in the documentary that many of the ambassadors to Afghanistan either sided with the Taliban or just straight up left. They're like, no, not dealing with this.
Yeah.
And see you later.
So she decided, through the face of all that, through being basically disavowed by the new Islamic regime or Islamic Emirates of Afghanistan government, who fired her, she continued to be the ambassador to Afghanistan and just continues giving talks and speeches and acts as much as like an ambassador she can,
and tries to help.
Well, because she's completely against the Taliban.
Yeah.
She is very much for the former, government and elected officials and all of that. So, follows her story through the 720 days following the Taliban takeover of Kabul, and what she's trying to do to help the women and children, the women and young girls in Afghanistan, who have been silenced. They were like shut out of going to school. It's very much Sharia law and the full extent that holds. It covers some of the protests. It covers some girls she's like mentoring that are still in Afghanistan as well. And just covers her life in general as she tries to make her way. Like, she gets taken out of this grand, opulent Afghanistan embassy, and has to like scrounge money together to get a small place in Austria kind of put back, and they're allowed to keep operating until she speaks out at a conference, and then all documents that her embassy produces are now null and void, and so that kind of hampers them in a different way, and she's getting death threats and everything else, while you're also at the same time watching what's going on inside of Afghanistan and what the lives of children and women are like there, and the protests that start happening. And
it's a lot. And you see like footage of like the first press conference the Taliban does, and it's great. It's great editing. I would say, because they specifically hone in on a specific phrase that he says. He's just like, we're not going to do anything to the women. They're still going to be on it. They're still going to be able to go to school and work. Everything will be the
rights will be protected.
The rights will be protected. Nothing will change.
Yeah.
And then in the very next scene, they're rounding up all the young girls and sending them home.
Yeah.
And it's like all you hear is like the wailing, like that part really hurt.
Yeah,
was the wailing of the kids, and like they were crying because they were all getting basically shooed away, and then they were putting signs that like, you know, no girls allowed kind of thing. And then you just see it like slowly just deteriorate, and like your blood just it's like hot lava at this point. It's not an easy watch in some points.
And honestly, during it, there was a point sort of midway through, maybe mid towards the end, where I was like, oh, you know what? Like, I feel like with everything that's going on in the world right now, like, I don't really know about what's going on inside Afghanistan anymore. And literally, as soon as that thought hit my brain, it shows up in the documentary. Like, they're out of the front headlines. Nobody, like, the world could only deal with one crisis at a time. And now that there's other things going on, everyone's kind of forgotten about what's going on in Afghanistan and thinks everything's great. And I was like, shit, I just got called out in a documentary.
Right? I got to that moment too, because I was like, I can't remember what's happening.
The last time I heard something about Afghanistan.
Right.
And then that moment hit. I was like, shit. I guess that would be why.
And one of the other things that I liked about the documentary was it went into her personal life, and it you know, it had moments with like her family and stuff, and like specifically her husband. And like how her husband was saying, like, you know, she's never home, and like when she is home, it's like that moment, and then she's back out again, and like he fully supports her, and like for a couple, like an Afghani couple, to see that level of support from the husband to the wife, like it's nice to see, and I like that that was a focal
really
point.
On the family,
that was a focal point in there.
Yeah.
My only criticism of this is the ending kind of comes abruptly, and it was just like, well, you're not, you know, that you're not going to get a happy ending. There is no happy ending to this. Shit's going down. The Taliban is still in power. It's you know, you can only do so much, and like the message that they're kind of saying is just like, well, you know, that we live to fight another day, kind of thing.
Yeah. And so it ended on a kind of a moment too of like, you know, I think it was her husband that was saying that poem, or not poem, but like a saying about like a bird who brings a drop of water from the ocean to drop on a fire. And it's someone's like, why are you, like, you're never going to put out the fire? And the bird's like, it's all I can do. And in kind of reference to his wife of, you know, she's doing everything that she's physically able to do to help these people, to help her people get a better life and get the Taliban out of control. And it's tough. They also, in the moment, like, they do deal with like the U.S. Army actually pulling out of Afghanistan, and
you see like footage of them just like taking off.
Oh, dude, no, not even just footage of them taking off with people hanging onto the side of the plane, and then people falling off the side of the plane as it goes up into the air. You're just seeing bodies drop, and it's horrifying.
I do remember that. Actually.
Yeah, that was horrific.
Yeah. So
that scene so definitely trigger warnings on this one. That was tough.
But overall, like, I thought it was a pretty well made documentary. Some weird editing in the talking heads at points that just kind of like jumped a little bit. It wasn't as smooth, maybe. But I mean, I'm being critical on technical things. Overall, I thought it was a well-crafted documentary in terms of the subject. I found her story engaging, and obviously, like, the struggles going on in Afghanistan are very real. They have not gone anywhere, and I know it's hard to pay attention to as many things there is going on in the world, but that is still very much a thing and deserves attention as well.
Yeah, pretty solid documentary. I would say this one's my favorite so far.
Yeah, very solid. You should seek it out.
That one's on May 4th at 11 a.m.
Sweet. Wow, a lot of these 11 a.m. boys, eh?
Mm-hmm. Starting the morning with fucking some heaviness.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I thought it would be I would be remiss if I couldn't end on a happier note.
I love this.
So we're gonna end
vaguely
on a
happier,
vaguely happier, but like happy-ish.
Yeah.
More happy adjacent than the last couple that we've talked about.
A lot less heavy.
A lot less heavy. More lighthearted. I am talking about the film called Spreadsheet Champions.
I was very excited to get this one when I was reading its little description.
A little bit about competitive Excel testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Chronicling
Six
kids as they compete in a Microsoft sort of sponsored accreditation test that ranks you in the top of the world, and it does it for
using Excel, Word,
or PowerPoint.
and PowerPoint.
Yeah, or PowerPoint.
Or PowerPoint.
You pick your
you
discipline.
you pick your discipline.
Yeah. So
There was a fourth one, wasn't there?
No, it was just those.
That was just
those two.
okay.
What, you think they're going to test on Microsoft Access?
publisher.
No, I was just gonna say. I was gonna say. I thought there was four. I thought there was four. Sorry, guys.
No, Word, Excel,
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
You are the world's best child Outlook user.
Yeah. You understand how Outlook search works. No one does. So yeah, it follows 6 kids. Their discipline is Excel, and they are, first of all, already national champions in their own nations.
In their own nations.
So in order to qualify for the worlds, essentially, you have to place at nationals, and all 6 of these children placed at nationals.
Yeah, so there's a kid from the U.S.
Yep.
One from Greece.
Yep.
And when I say kid, we're talking like between 15 and 20.
15 and 20-ish.
22-ish, yeah.
22-ish, yeah.
So U.S., Greece,
Vietnam,
Cameroon,
Australia,
and Christ, what is the last one? I should know what the last one is.
Paraguay?
No, Guatemala.
Guatemala. Thank you. I knew it was somewhere in South America. We got there.
Yeah.
Those are the 6 of them. And yeah, so you chronicle their journey post being national champions as they go to the Worlds, and the Worlds taking place in Miami, Florida.
Orlando,
Florida. Sorry, the other Florida.
Not Daytona Beach.
No,
not Fort Myers.
No,
not,
none of these things.
The nicer
Sanibel Island,
the nicer armpit,
Naples. Yeah. So in Orlando, Florida, they go. You chronicle the full thing about the test. Like they walk you sort of through what the test is itself. You follow the kids' journey there, their own personal lives, who they are as people. I think it does a pretty good job of giving you a good taste of
who they are,
who each of these 6 folks are, and it does a good job balancing all of it. Yeah, you get to talk to their parents, their teachers, or people that are close to them.
Yeah, people in authority figures in their lives. Figures in their lives.
Yeah. And then you get to the test itself, of course, and you watch that whole thing shake out in front of you, almost in real time a little bit, but yeah, kind of right in front of you. And then you deal with the aftermath of it, like how the kids felt they did, how they actually did once the results come out, and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was going to be similar to what you were saying about your luge story of it being like a real underdog story. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, they pick 6 kids. These kids are going to crush it. They're going to be like real. Oh boy, was I wrong. I did not expect this documentary to just kind of lay it all out there. And what I'm like, I guess it's real life. Like shit happens. Like
that ending kind of came at me.
Yeah.
I was like,
life comes at you fast, boys.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I wish it did a better job of articulating the last part of the exam.
Yes.
Because I don't really understand the last part of the exam. The last part of the exam is kind of like the practical creative how you do how you're able to assemble a spreadsheet and what it does type thing, but it doesn't really articulate why. Like I would love to have seen who got first.
Yeah.
I would love to see why theirs is first. Like they say it's subjective, which okay, but still showing me this is what first got.
Yeah, it would give you an idea at least. Yeah, and like as I understood it, like the first section was all multiple choice, kind of like history of Excel. You have to know your deep knowledge of Excel. It's all like questions, like a regular exam. The second one is practical applications of Excel functions within an Excel sheet. So it's like do this and then do this and then do this.
I thought it was more of just understanding what you can do without like actually doing it.
That's the first part. The second part is what you can do while doing it.
Oh,
The
I thought it
third-
was more of they gave you like the formula type thing. And you're supposed to explain what the formula does.
Still in the first part. All of that knowledge, all that theory knowledge was the first part. The second part they were able to use Excel and they had to do certain tasks, but it was very much like, do this little thing, do this little thing. Like each was its own problem.
Fucking pivot tables.
Yeah.
Pivot tables were hard.
Pivot tables are great. You just need to know how to use them. The third part,
Fuck
Pivot tables.
I do them all the time. It's great.
Fuck pivot tables.
Buddy, man, that my goddamn Excel class, like
No, I live in pivot tables. I mean, they're
Fuck
great.
pivot tables.
The third part to your
fucking
This
nerd.
fucking
I am a
nerd.
nerd. It's fine. I would do
Nerd.
decently well at this competition.
Nerd.
Thank you. This,
Yeah, against children. Fuck
yes,
you.
yes. This third
The one
part.
kid's 15. Of course, you're going to do better than him.
Fuck him. He didn't do well at all.
That's not nice.
This guy's literally been trying to get his point across, and we're literally
Yes.
just been
The
fucking
third
ridiculing
section,
him.
because I'm trying to help Dave out, and now I don't even want to. You're gonna go not knowing forever. No, the third part was they got an entire data table from a fake company, and they had to do. So it was briefly mentioned. It was like a blink if you miss it. They had to set up basically all the visuals that would be used for this company's job fair. So it would be like a PowerPoint, not a PowerPoint presentation, but like the visuals that would explain highlights. So it's really like, that's why it was the biggest part of the test. You have to, it's not just the data or the formulas, it's you have to analyze that data and figure out what's important and what to call out. So that's where the creative, subjective piece is. But also to your point, they were also deliberately vague at the beginning too, and they called it out too. It was like, it's a highly secretive test. We can't show you any part of it. We can't tell you, what is actually on it. Even like the snippets that you kind of got in, like they did some like cross-fading things where you kind of saw a question. Were all like the low-hanging fruit ones, but I agree. They did not do enough to even explain more about that third section or what winning because of the third section looked like.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I would have liked a little more there.
Yeah.
Because obviously not everybody who's going to watch this is a spreadsheet geek.
Yeah.
So they need to
This is why I was excited about this documentary.
So they need to I would have liked if you could, not to explain it to the masses, but at least to kind of like
explain it a little more.
Articulate it a little more. So when you see reactions and you see what ends up happening, you're like, oh, okay. Because there's one thing that I was really kind of miffed about, because I was like, you should have probably talked more about this. Yeah. And I'll tell you guys offline because I don't want to spoil it.
Fair enough.
We've been doing a very good job of not outright spoiling everything, so you can go to see some of these films and still be surprised by some of the content.
Yeah.
But
the documentary doesn't end in the way that you expect. While it is still kind of a sort of uplifting tale in a way, like they mention it multiple times that everyone that goes through this, whether you come in first, whether you come in 10th, whether you come in 20th, you're still being at this contest already proves something. A competition already proves something about who you are, and a lot of kids like walk out with either like full ride scholarships sometimes or connections to workplaces, and there's skills that are invaluable and helpful in every facet of business and company work and things like that. So it leads to good things for them, and it's still a source of pride. They're representing their own country and at this competition, so it's
of course,
it's a cool thing. And to see it coming from all around the world, like every country, when they were doing the results at the end, and again, not getting into spoilers, but seeing all the flags and China, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam, Cameroon, like they're all from all over the world descending there to compete is it's cool to see.
I think the shitty thing is you can only compete once.
Yeah, at the world level, you can compete at the national level.
At the world level,
times,
you can only do it once.
Yeah,
and then you're out.
Then you're done. It's over.
Shit.
Yeah.
I know they can't really do it or can't really show it as much, but it reminded me of Boyz State when I saw Boyz State, and I'm like, there's a girls' state. Why aren't you showing anything with the girls? And then they ended up making a girls' state movie. They don't really show anything with Word and PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm confused. I'm confused enough about the Excel stuff. It's like, the fuck are you doing? What the fuck do you have to do in Word and PowerPoint?
Yeah. I think that's why I think they're like, I don't know how we're going to explain what Word is, but like even
You bold the words enough.
This isn't really a spoiler because it doesn't
art.
matter. But the Vietnam contingent came as a team and they worked together as a team. And one of the 6 that you follow, obviously he's part of that team, and one of his teammates came in like I can't remember 3rd or 2nd for Word. You have no idea what she did, but she certainly came. She placed like 3rd or 2nd like in the world for Word, which is wild because I don't know what the hell that means. Does it mean that she can move images in Word and not fuck up her whole document? Like I don't understand.
That would actually be quite the skill.
I would hire her on the spot. I'm tired of my documents getting messed up.
Like how quick you can make a fucking PowerPoint presentation.
I gotta imagine that PowerPoint has got to be like the slickest visuals that aren't there.
No
like
star wipes.
You're
definitely no star wipes.
all star wipes.
You need star wipes.
All star wipes.
You need star wipes.
Yeah.
I used to do PowerPoint presentations. There was definitely
It's gotta
I always
be-
snuck in a star wipe here and there.
Yeah, it's got to be like content based of like what are you trying to produce? Like maybe for Word, it's like news articles. It's got to be formatted and edited in the correct way. Like I don't know. But it would have been interesting.
I went to the website afterwards because it kind of
it leads you there.
It kind of leads you there without leading you there type thing, and it's literally just a list.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything,
Wow.
and I'm just like,
Wonderful.
why is this so fucking secretive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're the world champion of Word.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Microsoft Word. They kept harping Microsoft.
It is Microsoft Word. Yeah, I agree. Like it is at points like it feels broadly covers like it covers enough in the Excel portion, but like it's really narrow focus. It's like we are following these 6 kids. They are all Excel kids. We are only following spreadsheets. We will not even entertain the idea of another Word competition that is happening here. We know what's happening. We'll show it because it was kind of loosely connected to the kid that we're following from Vietnam. But otherwise, it's fine.
Just a little bit something.
Yeah, just a little.
And I thought it was cool when they brought in the guy who
taste.
invented online or
That was very cool.
virtual spreadsheets. I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah. From what was it, like DigiCalc or something, whatever this first program was. That was
That was kind of
that was neat to like they got into the history of spreadsheets and why they're so important, why they're so relevant, and like the amount of work that they can do. And even the guy's like brainchild of like, he was tired of just like erasing a whole bunch of shit on a chalkboard and having to recalculate all the math manually. He just wanted a program where you could just put in the number that you want and it just does it. So that was I agree. That was a very cool thing to learn.
Yeah. It's compared to the other 5 documentaries we talk about, maybe not so much the track. The track sounds like it was a little more. There was more of the underdog feel to it.
Yeah.
Like compared to those ones, this one's very.
It's not heavy.
It's not heavy.
It's a pretty easy.
It's light.
documentary
It's
to
light.
watch.
It's light.
It is lighthearted. There's
Yeah.
some heavy. There's some sad moments.
Yeah,
in it,
sure.
some really funny moments.
Sure.
But
The kids are nice subjects to watch. It's a breath of fresh air. It's like you're watching.
It's very soft. Everything else
It's
we've been talking
soft.
about is hard.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is soft.
Yeah.
It's about fucking competitive spreadsheets. Like, come on. Like,
I think the hardest thing in that documentary was knowing that like the guy from Cameroon showed up at like after midnight the day of the competition and still like went and did like I was like, damn man, like that's hardcore.
some of these
have a
kids are
computer.
intense.
Yeah. He also doesn't have a computer. He borrows a computer. So like good for him. Good for him.
Some of these kids are intense, man. The things that they do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah.
That one kid being obsessed with One Direction though, like
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh yeah, that's her whole gambit.
but, One Direction's done.
Yeah.
Time to move on.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a good I liked it. I think it's a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
It's not gonna bum
It's
you
entertaining.
It's entertaining.
It's definitely entertaining.
It's
You
entertaining.
learn a few things here and there.
I love this.
It's not great.
Yeah,
But it's
It's entertaining.
it's entertainment.
It's fluffy,
Yeah, light and
especially
fluffy.
compared to everything else that we talked
Yeah,
about.
my
light
God,
and fluffy.
yeah.
But I love this festival. Like they some of the things that they show is just so ridiculous. Like we watched a movie about competitive table setting,
I did love that one.
pigeon racing,
pigeon racing.
and
Yeah,
now
that
like
one.
and
That was
now
a great
fucking
one.
spreadsheet competitive
Yeah.
spreadsheets.
You can
Like,
always find Hot Dogs always gives you something for everybody. There's always something that
Like,
you will find.
You can't make this shit up. Like, you got to see it to believe it.
I don't know. I think it's I think it might be one of or close to my favorite festival that we cover every year because of it's so varied. Like there's not a narrative like through line to any. There's no thematic thing that you can follow because sometimes you can kind of see it, or like if you're going to like TIFF, your high dramas and prestige films. Hot Dogs is just like a fucking shotgun blast of
fucking
things.
Free for all, man.
And it's wonderful because you can jump from fucking something heavy to this right afterwards and be like, that was a good palate cleanse after that hug that I needed from the last one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I saw one about competitive poultry pageantry one time.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
It's a wonderful festival.
It's so wild, and I love it so much. I have a great appreciation for Hot Dogs.
Yeah, and we've seen we've seen the whole gamut. Sometimes we watch one and it makes it all the way to the Oscars.
It's true.
Sometimes they don't.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
There's always something good. They are always able to get something, and they've always been good to us at Finger Guns. So we love them.
Yeah, we do. Before we wrap up, Spreadsheet Champions. It's on May 2nd at 5:15, and then May 4th at 3:45.
Awesome.
And then the festival today is Thursday. It started last Thursday. It runs until this Sunday in Toronto.
Oh boy!
So you should definitely check it out.
Yes, but we'll be back next week with our regular episode with wrapping up a lot more hot dogs. So
yes,
I think it might be one of those, or where it's hot dogs and our main segment. But I'm excited either way because there's so many more that I want to see, and I'm looking forward to sharing them all with you.
Yes,
absolutely. You're darn tootin'.
Until then, was there any final thoughts actually before I wrap up? I'll take that as a no.
I'm space.
I'm still
wait.
Whoa.
All right, so we've seen a couple.
Yeah.
What's our favorite so far? I said mine was like The Last Ambassador. I'll stand by that.
I think mine is Skoden right now.
Skoden?
Yeah, I would say so.
Skoden?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
There's more,
so we got
there's a lot more festival to go.
Two Skoden and Last Ambassador. Let's see where that takes us next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to shaking it out, and we'll maybe wrap it up with like a top 3 or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
So, till then, I'm still Jimmy, and I'm here as always with
Big T Tony B
and
Studious Dave,
and we will see you very soon.